So recently in my top 5 Skyrim mods video, I covered a mod called Dragonborn Voiceover, which gave the player a voice using AI.
I have news from Helgen about the dragon attack.
Plus there was a quest mod I showed that had an NPC using an AI voice.
Did you see them? The angels. Keep your eyes open and don't ever look away from them.
So after uploading that, I asked my Discord, how do you feel about AI voice acting and the ethics of using an actor's voice for a mod? Because, you know, these voices have to be taken from somewhere. And the conversation was really interesting, and I thought it's worth talking about on here. Now, if I take the question, should AI voices be used in modding? I honestly don't have an answer. So what I'm going to do is go on a back and forth debate with myself and just try to cover all the key points on both sides of the argument. So, I think using AI voices is wrong and unethical. Look at this mod here. It takes the voice of the Sith Inquisitor from Star Wars The Old Republic and turns it into your player voice in Skyrim. Like, yes, it sounds cool, but I think it's safe to say that the actual voice actor would hate knowing that her voice is being freely used like this. Many voice actors, like Elias Tefexis and Matt Mercer, have publicly said that they don't want their voice being used without consent. And I think we should just assume that's the default opinion for most voice actors. Okay, that's true, but it's not like it's being used for some hugely successful game, earning loads of money. These mods are usually made by people in their spare time who simply want to enjoy the game the way they want it. The voice actor isn't going to be affected in any way if I use their voice for some random NPC in a mod for Skyrim. Plus there are some mods that just use AI to give existing NPCs even more dialogue. So like the actor's already been paid for the role, and I'm just adding a bit more to it to make the game better. I get it. These mods are something that most voice actors won't even realise are a thing, and they do provide more fun content for the player. However, for every use of AI voices, that's an actual voice actor that's being denied a job. Take the Serena dialogue mod. It takes the popular Serena follower and adds a ton of new lines, with Kirsten Unger voicing them. So it avoids stealing the voice of the original actor, Laura Bailey, and just uses a great other actor in her place. Okay, yeah, I agree that using an actual actor is preferable, but also unrealistic for a lot of people. Say I want to make a quest mod with dialogue. I may not have enough money to pay for a voice actor, which leaves me with only a few choices. Either I voice it myself or using a friend, which will probably sound terrible. I could leave it without any voice and break the player immersion, or I could awkwardly ask an actor to lend me their voice for free, which just feels like an insult. So when there's this AI resource that's both free and easy to use, am I really at fault for just using what I can? At the end of the day, people will just do what's most convenient for them, and using AI is what's becoming the most convenient thing to do. That's true, and honestly, I don't blame anyone who uses AI for their mods. I know it can be easy to yell at someone for stealing someone else's voice, but I think in most cases, people aren't thinking that deeply into it, and are just using this convenient resource. But that's the problem. Because this level of AI is new and there's no laws surrounding it, it's easy to start using AI for everything without truly thinking of the consequences. Like yeah, you used your Sith Inquisitor voice for this one mod, but now that person's voice is out there as AI, and it's likely going to be used more and more over time. And the more we get used to this idea of AI voices, the more it's going to be seen as the norm, and bigger companies are going to start exploiting it. Voice acting is already a low-paid and competitive business, and you just know that it'll be made even more difficult with AI taking smaller roles. Well, yeah, that's completely fair, and it sucks. But honestly, that's just life and evolution. It sounds harsh to say, but evolving AI is inevitable, and people either need to adapt and embrace it, or be left behind. When the internet was first becoming a common household thing, there were plenty of people and businesses who hated the idea and refused to use it. And guess what? Those businesses are gone now. Until any laws against AI voices are put in place, future voice actors just need to accept that this is the way things are going, and they need to adapt. I'm not saying it's good or even ethical by any means, but it's just the way things are. And honestly, I think that about sums it up. The question of whether it's ethical to use someone else's voice without their consent is an easy one to answer. No, it's not ethical. But, at the end of the day, it's convenient, it's cheap, and if the explosion of AI art is any indication, in a few years' time AI voices will be flawless. So for now it's all down to the individual. Are you able to take the moral high ground and avoid AI voices that are used without consent? Or will you use what's most convenient for you, and only focus on what brings you the most enjoyment at the lowest cost? And I know it sounds bad when worded like that, but really I can't blame anyone for being on either side of the argument. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know in the comments what your opinions are. And I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters, Tyler Pullin, Janice, Jake Carlo, Dweezil P. Pants, Rook, Alec Bentley, Jack Ma, and Christian Howell. Thank you everyone, and farewell.